Hello, this screencast is one of a series that explores different tools I tried out to create demo collections of the Vassar College Costume Collection in March of 2009. The one we're going to look at right now is called CollectiveAccess. And we'll start by logging in, and then we'll just look around. Now we're going to log in twice to this, first to see the public view and then to see the administrator's view. So we'll start with the public guest view. Okay, so we're logged in. Now one of the quirks of this is there isn't a particular tab or button or anything to browse or to search all objects, but if you put in an asterisk, then all the objects in the collection will come up. So in this case, we have our 8 objects. The way this is set up is focused on the actual objects, not so much the images of the objects. So we have the 8 objects, and then when we look at each one, we'll see all the images that go with each one. So you'll see in the search, kind of the browse view that comes up, you've got a thumbnail image and a very brief amount of data. Okay, let's take a look at the daisy chain dress. When we click on that, we get our kind of summary view of that object. So we've got one good-sized image, brief description. In this case, there's also a field of historical notes. This is the same. This is text from a past exhibition, or at least it was adapted from a past exhibition. And this is the same text that you'll see in the other screencast for Omeka that's actually used in an exhibition form. For this project, I did not use CollectiveAccess in a real exhibition format, but it did allow to enter in what essentially would be kind of perhaps label copy or kind of associated data in an exhibition. If we scroll down a little bit, we'll see a whole bunch more data about this object. And you'll notice over here are different thumbnails of other associated images. So if we click on one of those, then that's the image that'll pop up. Here's a letter from the donor that's associated with it. Let's go back to our main image, though, and look at another feature that CollectiveAccess has. So if we click on the image, it'll take us to a larger image viewer that allows us to zoom in and out. Now this is not a very high resolution photo, so zooming in isn't going to be really great, but we see there are some nice advantages to that. Let's take a look at this feature with a different object. So we'll go back to the search results. And actually, let's take advantage of the search to quickly find this object. I'm looking for a bustle dress by the designer Emil Pinga. And when I search for Pinga, look, there it is. So now we'll click on that. Now with this, when I go into the image viewer, here's our dress. And you'll see there are some special labels that I've added in. This is similar to a tool that's available in Flickr, and I believe they're making a similar tool as a plugin for Omeka now as well. So you'll see there's a box that I've highlighted, and I've given a label to the box, and when I mouse over the box, the label kind of pops up and tells me a little bit more detail about it. We can come down now and do the same thing and find out more about the beadwork. If we want to turn off these labels, no. We just click on the little box there. So when it's yellow, the labels are on, and when it's gray, the labels are off. And it's pretty easy to toggle in between the two. But again, as long as I have my magnifying glass here, I can zoom in on a particular detail. Again, not a hugely high-res photo, so the zoom feature isn't too great for this particular image, but you get the idea of how this could be a really useful tool. I'll close that. Look at some other images of our Pinga. There's an image of the label. And I think that gives you a pretty basic idea of the kind of user interaction that you could have with this. So that'll be the end of this screencast, but the next will show you a little bit more of the back end of CollectiveAccess and how I created this site.